Hello everyone, welcome to Momentum IAS. As continued from the earlier lecture, today we are going to discuss UPSC 2019 geography questions that were asked in the prelims. And with this, we will also learn some new tricks to solve the question in an effective manner, not on the basis of information, but on the basis of logic as well as elimination. So let's begin. Now, the first question that came was related to minor minerals. This has become one of the favorite topics as far as UPSC is concerned. So you should know about what are major minerals and what are minor minerals, the acts governing it. Now, what does the statement says? Sand is a minor mineral according to the prevailing law of the country. Now, this was a very famous statement because sand mining has been prevalent in many states, like in Chambal Valley of Madhya Pradesh was very famous. Even many civil servants got killed while exposing the sand mafia. So, sand mining was quite in news at that time. So, that's why this question was asked. So, you should have known this option, that sand is a minor mineral according to the prevailing law. Now, what is that prevailing law? The prevailing law here was MMDR Act 1957. So, as soon as you see this question, at least you should have eliminated this option, that this option is correct, and with the help of this option you could have easily eliminated option B as well as option C. Now, the remaining two questions seems to be a bit difficult because it is asking about us the detailed provision of the act. But just by eliminating this option, you have already brought your probability to 50-50. That means you have to attempt this question now. Now, let's see, can we apply some kind of common sense here? As per options, our option 3 would definitely be correct. So, we don't need to see what is statement number 3. It says that government has to frame rules. Who frame them? State government have the power to frame rules to prevent illegal mining of minor minerals. Second statement says that state government have the power to grant mining lease of the minor minerals, but the powers related to the formation of rules related to the grant of minor minerals lie with the central government. Now, these two statements seems a bit contradictory to each other, because here state government has the power to frame rules on some aspect, but how they cannot have the power to do something related to the grant of minor minerals. This would, if this is the case, then it would have created a conflict. We are not exactly sure that it would have created conflict, but our common sense says so. So, even if we go by these two statements, they both seems a bit contradictory to each other. So, if you have to attempt, you can take a logical guess here that statement 2 and 3 cannot be correct together. That's why we should have marked option A as the correct answer. Look, in this video I am not here to give you information on the basis of which you could solve the question. Rather, what can be your approach in the examination to get the maximum output. This was a very beautifully framed question. You should have known this statement. This is the part where knowledge comes, but this is the part where your elimination comes. And on the basis of these two parameters, you could have maximized your chances of solving this question in an effective manner. Let's move further. So, this is for a little bit information. Sand is a minor mineral as per MMDR Act. Then statement 2 is not correct because in respect of minor minerals also they can have the rules. Now, many students are afraid of this kind of question. With reference to the cultivation of kharif crops, which of the following last 5 years? That means it's a trend analysis question. We should know about the trends of what our production is. Last to last year there was an question on the export, whether India is the largest exporter of rice or not. So this is a similar kind of question. We should know the trends, not exact figure, but we should know the trends about the various crops. In the last lecture also I discussed about what you should know about the crops. So here also you should know some basic trends related to crops. For example, India is the largest producer of pulses. India is the largest producer of milk. So let's see what kind of trend they have been asking. Area under rice cultivation is highest. We know that the two most important crops are wheat and rice. This was dominant during Green Revolution, but with time the rice, it is consumed in majority of the states. The area has significantly increased. So we can safely assume that this statement is correct. Now let's move on to the next statement. Area under the cultivation of jawar is more than that of oil seeds. Now these two are not primary crops that we generally study in our GS studies. So let's keep this statement for a while. By eliminating the first statement, you have eliminated two options, this and this. Now it has boiled down to 1 and 3, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you don't need to see the third statement because it would already be incorrect. Let's look at this statement. It is asking about the trend of 5 years, and it says that the area under sugarcane cultivation has steadily decreased. Means step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now such trends are generally erratic in nature. Either they are, if we are supporting some crop, it is going to increase someday. Due to failure of crops, it might come down. So whenever there is a very large span of time, for example 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, then for a trend to continuously rise and continuously fall seems a bit less probable. So if you have to take a stand here, you can assume that steadily decline for a crop for the continuously 5 years might have some structural problem related to it. And if that is so, it might have been well covered in the news along with the reasons related to this. So if you are aware of any such trend, then definitely you should mark this option as correct. But if we are taking a logical guess here, then we should mark this statement as incorrect. Unless you are definitely sure that the cultivation, because in such trend it is very difficult to memorize the trend for the past 5 years or 10 years. So here we have to take a logical stand. Logical stand says that continuously decline and continuously increase is difficult unless it is supported by something or have some structural issues. This is a logical way to eliminate an option. It might be wrong, but at least you are basing your assumption on the basis of some logic. So this statement can be wrong. So if this statement is eliminated, you don't even need to see the second statement. However, if you are not sure with related to this statement, or you are not able to eliminate this statement, you can also play on this statement, that how can just one millet crop be more than entire oil seeds of the country. So just by going this logic, if you would have eliminated this option, you would not have to put your head in this option. So this is the correct answer as far as this question is concerned. Again, I am highlighting that I am not here to bombard you with information, because once you have the facts, you can easily solve a question. But if you are lacking the facts, which will happen in the exam, then by this way you could have maximized your probability to increase your score. Okay. In the last to last lecture, I have highlighted you have to plot some rivers and some important cities related to it. So once again, this topic is being highlighted. However, UPSC has modified this topic a bit by giving the places that were related to ancient and medieval history. So though it's a geography question, but you can apply your history knowledge here, because this is a very important city as far as Vijayanagar empire is concerned, and you know that this empire was built on the river Tungabhadra. So even if just by this history knowledge you could have eliminated this option, the other two options would have automatically been correct and the option A would have been easily arrived. This is the way of interlinking your knowledge to solve a question which is not solely based on that particular topic or subject, but it is connected in some or the other way. Let's move on. You can note down the information if you want. Pandharpur in Chandrabhaga river, Maharashtra, Tiruchirappalli, Kaveri river, and Hampi on the Tungabhadra river. Now this is a conceptual question as far as the beginning chapters of geography is concerned. Here we learn about our solar system, system of latitudes and longitude, many students do a mistake by just taking these topics for granted, but we should not do so, because these are the things that makes the foundation of a geography. And once the advantages with such topic is, once you understand these topic, you won't forget it for a very long time. So let's see how we could have solved the question now. Let me highlight a bit of conceptual knowledge here. This is our sun. This is our earth. We know that earth rotates on an inclined axis. Our earth has Tropic of Capricorn, equator, Tropic of Cancer. Now due to this inclined nature, if this is in proximity to sun, the overhead rays of the sun would have fallen on Tropic of Cancer on 21st of June. Due to which, if the earth has been completely straight, then it would have made no such effect of covering the whole Arctic Circle. But since our earth axis is a bit inclined, the sun's rays covers this entire Arctic Circle for the period it lies over Tropic of Cancer. This was the concept that was being asked here, and even many students did this question wrong based on some frivolous assumptions. Let's see what is being asked. On 21st June, the sun does not set below the horizon at the Arctic Circle, does not set below the horizon at Antarctic Circle. This would happen when there have been summers in northern hemisphere. This situation would have been arrived when there had been summers in southern hemisphere. Shines vertically overhead at the noon at equator. It is when around March and April, when we in northern hemisphere celebrates the spring season, and shines vertically overhead at the Tropic of Capricorn. These two statements are correct, are identical. So we know that if they are identical, they cannot be our answer. And shines vertically overhead at the noon, if this happens, then every part of the earth, one greater circle of the earth would have received the uniform sunlight as far as the rays from the sun is concerned. So in this case our answer is A. This was again a conceptual question. So from the past 3 videos I have been discussing some or the other conceptual question of geography. In 2021 it was related to climatology, in 2020 it was related to oceanography, and now here it was related to latitude, longitude and our solar system. This shows that the significance of the conceptual question in geography has not declined, and if your concepts are clear, you can clearly take an edge over such questions. Now this is a factual question. What is common to places like Aliar, Isapur and Kangswati? Though this is a factual question which has very less scope for elimination here. So even if you know one of them, then it would have helped you, but if you are not aware of any of them, then blind guess would have not worked here. However, these two were however difficult, but this was in news. The water conservation measurement, this was related to water conservation, a reservoir, Aliar Dam. Even if you know this much, you could have easily eliminated the other options. Because the options are not very close, they are very much apart from each other, water reservoir. But even if you don't know this question, you could have simply left this question. I again highlighted this point in our earlier videos that there is enough scope for about 10 to 12 such questions which could have been left in the exam, and that would have not made any significant changes to your final score. But from here, one important takeaway is that you should know some name of traditional water harvesting structure, some water conservation methods. I have given a few names here: Fuds in Maharashtra, Zinc in Ladakh, Kuls in Himachal Pradesh, Eri in Tamil Nadu, Ahar Pines in Bihar, Ravi Tanka, Khadin and Kund. So you could find some more names from the internet and can enrich your knowledge. This topic is very important as far as also your mains exam is concerned, because water crisis has always been a burning topic in India and is asked in some or the other form. In such case, such topics can be used as examples to enrich your answer in an effective manner. So you can memorize this name. If it is asked in prelims, you can have a direct edge, or even if not, they can still be used in your mains exam. Let's move on to the next question. What are the dew drops? This is again a conceptual question related to climatology. Why are dew drops not formed on a cloudy night? It is simply asking that if this is the surface of the earth and this is a cloudy night, why dew drops would not form on a cloudy night? You have to give the reason. This is the keyword here, not. Let's see what will be the scenario in different cases. Clouds, first of all, let me explain you how dew drops are formed. Our air consists of moisture. When our earth's surface cools down to a considerable point, this moisture condenses to form some droplets on its surface due to the process of condensation. This is the basic way how dew drops are formed. It is very important as far as cricket is concerned in India, because dew factor plays a very crucial role in cricket also. So this is the mechanism behind it. अब इसी का ठीक उल्टा ले लो कि ये पूछ रहा है why dew drops would not formed on a cloudy night. Why? Clouds absorb the radiation released from the earth surface. बिल्कुल सही बात है, अगर ये radiation absorb करेगा तो सरफेस ठंडा ही हो जाएगा, तो इसकी वजह से ड्यू ड्रॉप्स बन जानी चाहिए. थर्ड वाला देखते हैं. द अर्थ सरफेस वुड हैव लो टेम्परेचर ऑन क्लाउडी नाइट. अगर लो टेम्परेचर होगा तब भी मॉइस्चर कंडेंस होकर ड्यू ड्रॉप्स बना देगा. तीसरा देखते हैं. क्लाउड्स रिफ्लेक्ट द विंड ब्लोइंग टू द ग्राउंड लेवल. अगर ये विंड ब्लो कर देगा, विंड ब्लो की वजह से ड्यू नहीं बन पाती है, तो अगर ये इसको डिफ्लेक्ट कर देगा ग्राउंड लेवल की तरफ, तो देयर इज अ हाई चांस दैट ड्यू विल फॉर्म. अगर क्लाउड रिफ्लेक्ट कर देगा रेडिएशन को अर्थ सरफेस पे, तो जो सरफेस हमें ठंडा चाहिए था ये हीट अप हो जाएगा, इसकी वजह से ड्यू नहीं बनेगा। तो दिस इज द करेक्ट आंसर। आप क्वेश्चन को डाइसेक्ट करिए। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल उसने पूछा है कि नॉट डायरेक्ट, डोंट जंप टू योर कंक्लूजन, फर्स्ट थिंक अबाउट द मैकेनिज्म बिहाइंड इट and then see what the question is asking and then analyze each option. ये कोई स्टेट पीसीएस का एग्जामिनेशन नहीं है कि आपको 1 मिनट के अंदर 2 या 3 क्वेश्चन करने होते हैं। यू हैव सफिशिएंट टाइम कि आप 1 से लेकर 1.5 मिनट्स तक, इवन 2 मिनट्स इन सच क्वेश्चंस दें। सो इवन इफ अ क्वेश्चन प्राइमा फेसी seems a very simple question, you should at least hold your breath and take 1 to 2 minutes to arrive at a best possible answer without any mistake. You should read question 1 to 2 times, and in this way you can have better chances of solving the question. Now I have in the last video also I highlighted that in some important water bodies you should cover the border areas. I gave the example of Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Aral Sea. Here also the UPSC ने एक ही क्वेश्चन में सब डाल दिया। उससे पूछ दिया एड्रियाटिक सी बता दो, ब्लैक सी बता दो, कैस्पियन सी बता दो, मेडिटेरेनियन सी एंड रेड सी। और बच्चे वहाँ डर गए कि यार 1-2 तो याद करके आए थे, ये इसने तो सभी पूछ डाला एक ही क्वेश्चन में, तो ये कैसे करें, इतनी सारी फैक्चुअल इन्फॉर्मेशन कैसे करें। अगेन आई हाईलाइटेड इन द वीडियो कि मेरा काम यहाँ पर आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन बॉम्बार्ड करना नहीं है, बट उस क्वेश्चन को इफेक्टिवली सॉल्व करना है थ्रू एलिमिनेशन एंड लॉजिक। इधर देखते हैं हम कि वही सेम लॉजिक हम कैसे अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। लेट्स सी, लुक एट द ऑप्शन। जो ऑप्शन हमें यहाँ पर दिख रहा है कि 1 यहाँ पर है, 1 यहाँ पर है, 1 यहाँ पर है। दैट मीन्स अगर मैंने किसी तरह 1 एलिमिनेट कर दिया तो मेरा आंसर आ जाएगा। फिर देखते हैं 2 यहाँ पर है, 2 यहाँ पर है, 2 यहाँ पर है। अगर किसी तरह मैंने 2 एलिमिनेट कर दिया तो भी मेरा ऑप्शन आ जाएगा। उसके बाद हम देखेंगे कि अगर इससे हमारा क्वेश्चन नहीं होता तो हम आगे क्या कर सकते हैं। लेट्स सी इन केस ऑफ अ ब्लैक सी। ब्लैक सी की मैंने आपको बताया कि ब्लैक सी का आपको याद होना चाहिए। इसके लिए निमोनिक आप यूज कर सकते हैं बीटी गुड़, और ये इंपॉर्टेंट भी है क्योंकि ये इस समय यूक्रेन क्राइसिस को लेके बॉर्डर शेयर करता है। तो बीटी गुड़ क्या हो सकता है? टर्की, जॉर्जिया, यूक्रेन, रोमानिया, रशिया, बल्गारिया। इवन अगर आप निमोनिक, आपको एग्जाम में एग्जैक्टली निमोनिक याद ना है, बट स्टिल बीटी गुड़ इतना याद आ गया तो आपको पता है कि सी तो है ही नहीं वहां पे, तो ये स्टेटमेंट मेरा गलत हो गया। जस्ट बाय एलिमिनेटिंग दिस वन स्टेटमेंट आई क्विकली अराइव्ड एट द आंसर। तो थोड़ा सा मेहनत के साथ साथ दिमाग भी अगर इस्तेमाल कर लेंगे हम कॉमन सेंस पे, तो हम इतने डिफिकल्ट या इतने हैवी बल्कि क्वेश्चन को कंपैरेटिवली इजी बनाकर अपना काम आसान बना लेंगे। एंड दैट इज द सोल ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ दिस वीडियो विच आई एम शेयरिंग हियर। For your reference, I have given the map: Romania, Ukraine, Russia, Turkey, Bulgaria. BT जैसे BT कॉटन, BT ब्रिंजल ये सब होता है, ऐसे BT गुड़, GURR, जॉर्जिया। Let's move on. Again, when I was discussing river, I also told you that while discussing river, you should also know about its origin. And for maximum Himalayan rivers, the origin comes from glaciers. So even if you have charted out some or the other path of a glacier, you might have known some names of the glacier. Let's see here. Yamuna is a very important river. Yamuna, Ganga. You should know which glaciers feed such kind of rivers. So in many cases, Bandar Pooch, many people know that Bandar Pooch is a glacier that feeds Yamuna. Just by ticking one option, you would have eliminated these two options. and you are left with 1, 2 and 4 or 1, 3 and 4. For this 5 देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, 4 ऑटोमेटिकली करेक्ट आ गया, आपको इन दोनों में से देखना है. इन केस में मंदाकिनी इज द वन ऑफ द 5 मेन रिवर्स ऑफ उत्तराखंड और उनके कॉन्फ्लुएंस को आपको याद रखना है. अगर आप वहां से कर लोगे तो इस मिलम ग्लेशियर को एलिमिनेट कर सकते हो. एंड बाराशिगरी इज अ ग्लेशियर दैट इज बीइंग लोकेटेड इन लाहौल स्पीति and it does feeds Chenab. So answer is 1, 2 and 4. But even if you are not able to arrive here, still you have eliminated 2 options and brought your chances to 50-50. I am continuously stressing upon this point that you have to increase your probability to 50-50, because if you arrive at this point, I can assure you, if you are able to attempt 20 to 25 questions with half of the elimination, you would have at least got 15 correct. आपको लग रहा होगा 50-50 probability का purpose defeat हो रहा है, but I am telling you, you will get a very lot of positive score as far such questions is concerned. So you should keep your head very alert and look for elimination technique even if you don't know anything about that answer. This is how elimination tactics work. So in this map I have plotted some of the glaciers. This is your Barasigri glacier. This is an important Zemu glacier, Pindari glacier and Gangotri glacier. These are some of the glaciers that you should keep in mind. So that's it about this lecture. In the next video, we will look towards 2018 questions. For more such video, you can subscribe to our Telegram page, that is Momentum IAS, and you can also visit to our website www.momentumis.com. Thank you.